Welcome to the deep dive. If you've ever felt like, your smartphone owns you, not the other way around, well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're looking at something pretty interesting. This growing movement around GNU Linux-powered smartphones.
Yeah, it's a real tech uprising, isn't it?
It is. This is for anyone looking for alternatives to, well, the big two, iOS and Android. It's about privacy, transparency, and really getting control back. So our mission today is to kind of cut through the jargon, the tech talk. We want to map out who the key players are, understand some of the honestly radical choices they're making in design.
And figure out if these things are actually ready, for everyday use as your main phone.
Exactly, because this isn't just about hobbyist tinkering anymore, is it? This feels like it's aiming for real market disruption.
And if you look at the sources, the core of it, it's not just tech. It's philosophical. It's pushback.
Pushback against what specific?
Against what some people call walled gardens, those closed ecosystems, and, more deeply, against surveillance capitalism.
Okay, that term again, surveillance capitalism.
Yeah, the whole economic model, right? Collecting user data, selling it, that's the engine of the modern mobile world. This movement is basically the anti-that.
Okay, let's dig into this then. If it's against surveillance capitalism, what's the positive vision? What are they actually trying to build?
The goal is something called digital sovereignty.
Digital sovereignty. Sounds significant.
It is. It's this idea that your digital life is like an extension of your real life, and you should have complete, genuine control over your data, your devices.
So being the owner, not the product being sold.
Exactly. Or not even just renting your own phone from some giant corporation. You own it.
And the way they make this happen, practically speaking, is FOSS, free and open source software, running on GNU Linux.
That's the foundation, yeah.
We should probably clarify FOSS quickly, because free here isn't just about price, is it?
No, not at all. It's about freedom. The freedom to run the software, copy it, look at the code, change it, share your changes.
Yeah.
It's about rights, fundamentally.
Rights.
So open source means you can actually see the code, check what it's doing, no secrets.
Right.
And free, the capital F free, means you have the right to modify it if you don't like what it's doing or if you think you could improve it.
So, okay, if normal phones are like a locked bank vault, you just trust the bank. FOSS is like having a vault made of glass.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone can look inside, make sure there's nothing sketchy going on, no hidden pipes siphoning your info.
That's a huge mental shift, really. Trust versus verification.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
But this transparency, this freedom, it hits a major wall, the biggest practical problem for this whole scene.
Ah, yes. The infamous app gap.
The app gap, yep. Sounds simple, but it's the killer issue.
What does it mean in practice?
It means you often can't easily run the essential apps most people rely on, your bank's app, maybe your work messaging platform, the big social media apps.
Things people feel they need.
Exactly. For a lot of potential users, if it doesn't run those specific apps, it's a non-starter, no matter how good the philosophy is.
It's the deal breaker.
It really is. The community is working hard on solutions, throwing lots of tech at it, but yeah, it's still the main hurdle to wider adoption.
Okay, we'll definitely come back to how they're trying to solve that. But first, let's look at some projects that really lean into the philosophy, maybe even prioritizing it over pure convenience.
Right.
The names that always come up are Purism and Fairphone, focused on security and ethics. Let's start with Purism's Librem 5. You described it as a flagship against surveillance capitalism.
It really is. It's almost like a political statement made out of metal and glass.
Yeah.
Purism set out to build a general-purpose computer that respects the user completely.
And they made some pretty unusual design choices to guarantee that respect.
Oh, yeah. Radical choices. The most obvious ones, the things that really shout privacy first, are the hardware kill switches.
Okay, explain those. These aren't just software settings, right? Like toggling airplane mode.
No, absolutely not. These are actual physical switches. You move them with your finger, and they physically, electrically disconnect key components right off the circuit board.
Which component?
You've got separate switches for the camera and microphone together. One for the cellular modem, the part that talks to the phone network, and one for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth.
Wow. So you flick a switch and, physically that the microphone is disconnected. No software bug or malicious app can turn it back on.
Exactly that. It gives you a level of certainty, of physical assurance that's just impossible on a standard iPhone or Android device.
That's powerful. And what about the software side, PuriOS?
Right, PuriOS. It's based on Debian Linux, which is known for being super stable and community-driven, and it's convergent.
Convergent meaning?
Meaning you can plug the phone into a monitor, keyboard and mouse, and it basically turns into a desktop Linux computer.
So the phone really is a pocket-sized computer that you fully own and control.
That's the vision. Now, the sources do say convergence still needs work. Optimizing desktop apps for phone screens is tricky, but the potential is there. It's huge.
Okay, so that's the Librem 5 for ethical privacy, but Purism also has the Liberty Phone. This sounds like it steps up the security even more.
Yeah, it targets a different, much higher stakes threat. If the Librem 5 is about everyday surveillance, the Liberty Phone is about targeted physical interception.
Interception? You mean someone physically messing with the phone before you get it?
Exactly. It's called hardware interdiction.
Yeah.
Think about journalists in hostile regions, activists, government agencies, people who might be targeted by state-level actors.
Wow, okay.
The risk is that someone intercepts the phone during shipping, opens it up, and installs some kind of hardware backdoor spy chip before you even turn it on for the first time.
So how does the Liberty Phone stop that?
They tackle the supply chain risk. They move the manufacturing of the main brain, the printed circuit board assembly, the PCBA, to their own facility in the USA in California.
So by making the most critical electronic part in a secure, verifiable U.S. location.
They basically eliminate that window where it could be tampered with during international shipping and assembly. It creates a secure, auditable chain of custody.
That sounds incredibly expensive, and probably not something you can do for a mass market phone.
Definitely not. It pushes the price way up. The Liberty Phone is a very niche product for users with extreme security needs. It proves secure supply chains are possible, but it's not the solution for everyone.
Okay, let's switch gears then. From high security to, well, planetary health and ethical manufacturing. That brings us to Fairphone.
Right. Fairphone's whole reason for being is different. They're fighting planned obsolescence and trying to make the electronic supply chain fairer.
Planned obsolescence, the idea that phones are designed to break or become outdated quickly, so you have to buy a new one.
Exactly. Fairphone attacks that head on. Their commitment to ethics and sustainability is, like, engineered right into the phone itself.
And the key feature there is the modularity, isn't it?
Absolutely. The phone is designed deliberately to be taken apart easily by you, the user.
You mean I can fix it?
Yeah. You can replace the battery, the cameras, the charging port, other bits, usually just with a standard screwdriver. They get top marks for repairability.
Which drastically cuts down on e-waste because you keep the phone longer.
Precisely. And it ties back to that sovereignty idea too, right? If you can fix it, you truly own it. It's not a disposable black box.
Makes sense.
And beyond the hardware, they make big commitments too, like really long software support, often 7 years or more, which is way beyond industry standard.
Wow.
And they actively try to source minerals more ethically. Things like tantalum, tungsten, gold. They trace where they come from, aiming for conflict-free sources, fair trade gold, trying to clean up a really dirty industry.
Okay, so we've seen high security, ethical repairability.
Yeah.
The variety is already pretty amazing. But you mentioned the ecosystem caters to even more specific niches.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets really diverse, showing how these projects meet very particular demands.
Like the PinePhone. What's this unique angle?
PinePhone is fascinating. Pine64, the company, didn't try to make a super polished iPhone killer. Instead, they built an incredibly affordable, open hardware platform.
The platform. Like a base for others to build on.
Exactly. Think of it as a shared tool, a canvas. It's designed for hobbyist developers, the FOSS community, giving them cheap hardware to experiment with, to build mobile Linux on.
So it's intentionally kind of bare bones to keep the cost down and encourage tinkering.
Pretty much. And the hardware itself encourages that. It has these things called pogo pins on the back.
Pogo pins.
Yeah, little electrical contact points. They let people design and attach hardware add-ons, pogo mods, things like physical keyboards that snap on, special sensors, fingerprint readers.
So the community can literally add hardware features themselves. That's pretty cool. Fosters real grassroots innovation.
Definitely. You see all sorts of operating systems and mods popping up for it. It's a community catalyst.
Okay, so if PinePhone is for the tinker community, what about the FX Tech Pro 1X? That sounds more like a power user device.
It absolutely is. The Pro 1X is basically a defiant no to the trend of ditching physical keyboards on phones.
Right. It has that slide-out keyboard.
A proper one, too. A 5-row, 64-key, staggered QWERTY keyboard. It slides out from under the screen.
Who is that for?
The developers coding on the train, sysadmins managing servers remotely, people who do a lot of writing on their phone. For them, that tactile feedback is just way better than tapping on glass.
And the way it slides out is clever too, right? It props the screen up.
Yeah, the hinge mechanism angles the screen at about 155 degrees. So it basically turns into this tiny little laptop, perfect for typing or using the terminal.
A micro laptop, I like that.
And naturally, since it's aimed at techie users, it comes with an unlocked bootloader, supports running different operating systems. Total control is key for that audience.
Okay, one more distinct flavor. The Volla Phone. This sounds like the opposite of the Pro 1X, aimed at non-technical users.
Almost exactly the opposite, yeah. Volla is tackling complexity and notification overload. Its core mission is digital well-being, simplicity.
Interesting. So it's reacting against how distracting and demanding current smartphones are.
Precisely. It's a critique of interfaces designed to keep you hooked. Volla wants to give you focus back. It runs either a de-Googled version of Android or Ubuntu Touch, but the key thing is its interface.
What's different about the interface?
It uses something called the Sprungbrett.
German for springboard.
Yep. Instead of a cluttered grid of app icons, it's mainly a smart text-based launcher. You just start typing what you want to do.
Like call mom or note remember milk.
Exactly. Or message Dave. The system figures out the action and presents it, usually without needing complex cloud processing. It aims to get you in and out fast, not keep you scrolling endlessly. Technology as a tool, not a time sink.
Okay, this diversity is genuinely impressive. High security, repairability, community focus, productivity, simplicity. But we have to circle back to the elephant in the room.
The app gap.
The app gap. If these phones can't run the apps people need day to day, aren't they still stuck in a niche? No matter how good the philosophy.
That's the core challenge, absolutely. And this is where we see some really pragmatic, maybe even game-changing solutions starting to emerge.
Like what? What's the breakthrough?
We need to talk about the Furi Labs FLX1s, because the way it handles the app gap, that could be the key to making these kinds of phones viable for a much wider audience.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does the FLX1s bridge that gap without compromising on the core principles, like sovereignty?
So Furi Labs developed FuriOS. It's a security-focused operating system built on Debian, like PureOS. But the crucial part is its integration of Waydroid.
Waydroid, what is that? Is it like an emulator?
It's much smarter than traditional emulation, which is often slow and drains battery. Waydroid uses container technology, specifically LXC Linux containers.
Containers?
Yeah.
Like Docker?
Sort of similar concept, yeah. Instead of pretending to be a whole separate Android device, Waydroid runs a minimal Android system inside a container, but it runs directly on the main Linux kernel that FuriOS uses.
Ah, so it's not simulating the hardware, it's sharing the actual kernel.
Exactly. That direct access means performance is way better. It's close to running the Android apps natively. They feel fast, responsive.
Okay, performance is key. But what about the sovereignty part? Aren't you just letting Android apps onto your secure Linux phone?
That's where the container isolation is critical. The Android environment and all the apps inside it are kept securely separate, sandboxed from the main FuriOS system.
So the Android apps can run, do their thing.
But they can't access or mess with your core Linux system, your private files, unless you explicitly allow it through controlled mechanisms. You get the app compatibility without giving up control or privacy.
Functionality without sacrificing freedom. That sounds, well, like the holy grail for this movement.
It's pretty close. And the FLX1s combines this Waydroid solution with modern hardware specs and those physical hardware kill switches we talked about earlier, like the Librem 5.
So it's ticking a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Security, privacy, open source, and it runs the Android apps you need.
Which is why many see it as a really compelling path forward. It shows how you can blend the strong ideals of the movement with the practical realities of what most users need to function day to day. Idealism meeting pragmatism.
Okay. So what does this all mean? We've covered a lot of ground here, from super secure US assembly to repair-focused designs, community platforms, productivity powerhouses, and now this Waydroid solution.
I think it means this whole ecosystem is way more than just a curiosity now. It's maturing, it's diverse, it's resilient, and it's a clear, defiant no to the status quo of mainstream tech.
These aren't just science projects anymore.
Not at all. They're functional devices.
Yeah.
Viable alternatives that cater to real, deeply felt user needs, whether that's extreme security, environmental ethics, or just freedom from big tech control.
Challenges definitely remain, right? Software polish, scaling up manufacturing.
For sure. It's not perfect. But the sheer variety of approaches, especially the tech like Waydroid tackling the app gap head-on, shows there's real momentum. There's a clear path towards broader acceptance now.
The tech is getting there. The user desire for choice, for sovereignty, it seems undeniable. Which brings us, I guess, to our final thought for you listening. If we think of technology just as a tool, does using a phone that puts ownership first, the right to see inside it, to change it, to physically cut off its sensors, does that fundamentally change how you relate to your digital life? If you had a tool that was built for transparency, not just demanding your trust, would you use it differently? Would you feel differently about it?
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah. Maybe consider what parts of this digital sovereignty idea actually matter most to you. Is it the top-tier security, the repairability, or just escaping the constant noise and tracking? Because whatever it is, that alternative future, it's being built right now.
Definitely something to chew on.
Until next time on The Deep Dive.